get ready, going green.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We're here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the all-new Ford Mustang GT4. This car is a lot of fun. I've been playing a lot as we get green flag racing here. This is multi-class racing with the LMP3s and the GT4s for the first week of season 1. We're taking it pretty easy into turn 1 here. Well, technically not turn 1, but onto the first lap. We already have incidents up ahead, and unfortunately, single monitor, not able to see the wreck on the left, and the BMW just comes into our field of view. We have no time to stop, unfortunately, and we got some wheel damage. So take a look at the green flag drop here. The LMP3s get away pretty smoothly. There's a top pack and then a back half, and then a little further back you can see the GT4s come into view, and it is just a mess. You have smoke everywhere, you got people hitting the walls, and then you got body parts all over the place. There's a bumper, Mercedes and Ford get together, and then we're there in the back with the BMW. And that's really how it is, unfortunately. So we take another look here at my POV. We're back at the pack here. I didn't want to rush anything, so I just wanted to take my time. First race of the new season. So I just wanted to be safe, and I went as wide as I could, and I still ended up getting collected. But that is what it is. Here's another angle down the front straight here. Just the blue Ford just gets turned around, and then the BMW hops the curb, taking out the rest of the back of the field. Up ahead, though, the fight for fourth, the Mercedes there gets some net code and does some friendly fire on another Mercedes, and nowhere for that to go, and the Mustang just runs right into him. So we get back into the race, now officially starting our race here, and we already have another incident up ahead. The Mustang got turned around. The new addition for these cars is the cold tires. So just like the BMW there and the Porsche explaining to us, these cars now have cold tires, just like the GT3s did at the start of last year. And you can kind of see after this right-hander here on the dash of the Mustang, you can see on the bottom all blues. So no longer are the GT4s going to be, you know, gung-ho at the beginning. You got to bring the tires in, and you got to get them to temperature before you can really start pushing them. And people are still getting a hang of it, as we can see from the clusterfuck that we had of a first lap. So getting us back into the race here, we are, we're basically last, we're P21, and we kind of just have to settle down into the race. I mean, there's nothing else that we can do. It's a 30-minute race, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities throughout the next 30 minutes, and we kind of just got to put our head down, put the accident behind us, even though we have some wheel damage, which is going to slow us down a little bit. But this is a good opportunity to learn the new Charlotte Roval, because along with Season 4, the Charlotte Motor Speedway got a new track layout for the Rover, so they updated that as well, which is good. It's been fun, and as you can see here, I hop over the last curb because of the cold tires. They're not up to temperature yet. So it's going to be a big impact here for the GT4 class, and I think a really good impact. Blue Mustang up ahead gets a little squirrely, and he ends up hitting the outside wall, collecting the Mercedes, and spins out on his own, and that's going to be him out of the race. So as the 13 Mustang pulls over to the side, a little bit behind that, we have another incident behind involving the 14 Mustang and the number 1 Mercedes, as the are both fighting for position and still on those cold tires. So the number 1 unfortunately has a bit of a moment, and the 14 is kind of just unfortunately wrong place, wrong time. And we jump back to our POV. We have the BMW also on cold tires, just like everybody else, as we see a bumper that comes across the track from another incident. I believe it's that Mustang up ahead right in front of us, but you're seeing already the amount of carnage that is coming from these cold tires, and this is going to continue really the rest of the opening laps. I mean, everyone is not really used to these yet. It's the first week of the new season, so people are going to be kind of all over the place with getting used to this new tire model, just like me, just like everybody else. So thankfully with those incidents we're able to pick up a couple positions as we jump up to 19th, and we still have a long way to go. We're only 3 minutes into this race on lap 2, so we have plenty of time to jump up and get some positions. So our next target here is James. Has a bit of a moment there because he does have a damaged car, which I think he's going to pull down to the apron and go ahead and go into the pits. We're just checking to make sure that he doesn't come back up on the oval here to wreck us, but he goes ahead and goes to the pits, and that's another position gained for P18 as we finish lap 2. So on the start of lap 3, we're kind of picking our target here for the rest of the race, and we're just kind of figuring out what we can do to gain as many positions as we can. Obviously we have to try and be smooth, we have to be on point with our braking stuff, since we do have a damaged car as well. We do have Adam behind here, which is 0.7 behind, so he's in our draft. He's very similar pace to us, as he did do a quicker lap than us last lap. As we look ahead to another incident, this is the new part of the track here. It's just a hard left-hander, a really tight hairpin, and the Mercedes and Porsche get together. Actually, that's not a Porsche, I think that's double Mercedes. They get together and the BMW is able to get through, and we're going to stick with this 3-position battle here, as the 27 of the Mercedes is going to look up the inside. He's going to give the other Mercedes, the number 7, a little push, and the number 7 has to cut the chicane as he's not able to stop in time, and he does get a slowdown penalty, and the BMW does lose out. Now while those guys are fighting in the GT4 class, the LMP3 class is fighting for P7, and the orange car sticks his nose into an area that it should not go into, and unfortunately causes a 3-car accident, which ends the orange LMP3's race for the day. So I think this is an example of just the new track layout. People don't know where the braking zones are, especially with the faster class, and kind of just comes to an area where somebody thought they were going to be able to make it a little bit faster than the cars ahead, and unfortunately it caused an accident. So getting settled into this race, there's really one thing that I'm kind of focused on. I'm focused on the top left. I'm looking at the fastest lap and the last lap of the standings up there. So I use that to be able to see how quickly I'm gaining on the car ahead, or how much I'm losing on the car behind. So if we look at Adam behind in the last lap category, he did a 26.7 on the last lap, while I did a 27.8. So I know that in this position of the race, he might be a little bit faster than me, as I can't get the braking right into the last corner. Unfortunately, I have to cut the corner. I get a slowdown penalty, so I have to let Adam by. But the good thing that I do know is that the car behind, which was Adam, was faster than me. So I'm able to use Adam now as kind of a track guide or a target that I can use. The goal that I'm going to have is staying inside of his slipstream within that 1 second time frame, so that way I can gain the benefit of the draft, but I can also learn from him. I can learn where he's braking, I can learn, you know, where he's turning in at, where his mistakes are, but I can also study his driving style. When I am able later in the race, hopefully I'll be able to get close enough to where I can put a move on him, and if I know, and if I've been studying his braking markers, I've been studying, you know, how he drives on certain turns, I can possibly make a quicker move, a quicker decision to make an overtake possible. So that's the one thing that I'm looking at in the standings. The relative is also nice to have in the bottom right hand corner. I mean, if you're watching this video, you play iRacing, you know that there's a relative, tells you, you know, the relative distance between the cars ahead, cars back. As we have the LMP class finally getting us lapped here on lap 4. Go ahead and lift off and let them through. But, you know, those are some of the things that I'm thinking about, especially when there's an incident at the beginning of the race and I'm kind of out of the fight. So I have to think of something so that way this is not a boring race for me. So I'm trying to use the BMW ahead as a target, as the LMP3 class is kind of smothering us here, as we have P5, P6 go ahead and overtake us. And we're trying to also look for opportunities here. You know, the main thing about the multi-class is the faster classic cars being able to overtake the slower classic cars. That's why we like endurance racing and multi-class racing. So while these LMP3 cars are going through, we're looking for opportunities ahead to try and gain an advantage on the car ahead. So just like this tight hairpin here, Adam had to take a super tight turn into that hairpin. It didn't hurt him per se, but it's something to look at as to where the LMP3 classes are overtaking at this new track layout. So if people are, not people, but the LMP3s are overtaking on the right hand side of that hairpin, then I can make my position predictable, as you want to do in a slower class car, as you want to be as predictable as possible. So if I'm looking at the LMP3 classes and they're overtaking on the outside of that hairpin, I can make my position up quickly on the outside, so that way the LMP3 class goes in the inside, and then I can get a smoother run out of that hairpin. So that's something that I'm looking at, and I'm learning through this this process of learning the new car, the new track, and also the new tire model. So looks like here we're looking at the race again, as I'm done explaining what I'm trying to do to make my race not as boring for me and for you guys as well. So the LMP3 class all went through. Looks like there is a P10 coming up, but he's only 20 seconds behind. So I'm a bit closer to Adam now, so I'm trying to find a little gap that I can put together and to get an overtake in. But also ahead, it looks like, to the relative, we're kind of a bit quicker than Adam. We're also most definitely quicker than P16, and then we're about the same pace as P15. So I know at this current pace that we're at least going to catch Adam, and we're also, actually there's two Adams, the 17th and 16th spot we're going to be able to catch at the current pace that we're doing. So another thing is, throughout the race your car gets lighter with fuel, and you start to hone in your senses for the track and where you need to brake, and get a easier feel for the car. So you're going quicker and quicker and quicker as you tick in the laps, and I feel like that's what we're doing pretty well here. As we get settled into this race, we're on lap 7 here. You can see on our dash that the only tire left that is cold is the left rear, and that's not a tire that's going to be used quite as often on this track, as it is a clockwise track, so there's a lot of right-hand turns. So that tire is not going to be used quite as often. So obviously that's the last one that's going to be getting to temperature, but the rest of the tires are on temperature, and we're able to push as we are gaining on the relative, which is nice. That is a new addition that came with the UI, is the revamp of the relative. It looks a lot better, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot more. I think it provides a lot of information, especially with the sector times and compared to your fastest lap, as I think that's very important to see on the screen how quickly you're going compared to your best lap. So looking ahead, we are pretty close to Adam here, and I'm kind of thinking whether it's worth the risk of overtaking. So what I mean by that is, we're down in the order. I'm not really gaining a whole bunch besides just the one position. So the main thing that I'm thinking is, I'm stuck in the draft, which is good, but I'm probably quicker than Adam, so I don't know how long it's going to benefit me to stay behind him. So I kind of am close enough to where I should probably start thinking of overtaking him, as I am probably faster than him at this point. Compared to last lap, I'm 2/10 faster than him. So I'm going to try and possibly use the LMP3 traffic to get by him, but I don't see anything coming up in the relative, so they might not be around to try and make an opportunity happen with the lap traffic. So I'm just kind of be patient and use the strategy that I have planned for my race to make the overtake on Adam. The good thing is that I see up ahead that we are definitely catching the pack. We're going to step back a little bit, and we're going to look at the fight for P3 in the LMP3 field, as the number 2 car, actually I think that's the number 3 car, ended up jumping the curb, and that's the 3rd podium spot out of the race. You can't really come back from that. So he had a good opportunity. Looks like a good fight for P2, P3 in the LMP3 field, and unfortunately his race has ended. So we're back in our cockpit, which is good, and we're getting a hang of this new car as we get a little bit squirrely. I believe that's because of the damage, but this car has been a lot of fun to race with, and I think it's going to be one of my more enjoyable cars that I'm going to be using in the GT4 class when I do race this series. I'm a big Ford fan, so I'm definitely going to be using this a lot more. I do think it's a quick car, but with the new tire model, I mean, it's really personal preference now, and we really don't have a clear decider, especially with week 1, on what the fastest car is going to be. So the lapped car ahead, James, has actually come out of the pits here. He pitted on lap 5, so he's a couple laps into his second stint, as that was the one car that had his bumper come across the track. And it looks like we're going to have an opportunity here, a pretty good one, to make an overtake on Adam. So we're going to try and get him into the next corner, as we do take the hairpin really nicely, and we get a really good exit, and actually we're not going to be able to get an actual overtake done, as I think Adam has realized that I may be a bit quicker than him, which is okay, and sometimes that's how it needs to be when you're fighting in one of these classes. I do it in a couple of different series, especially kind of in GT3s. When I race those and I know someone is faster than me behind, I don't really put up a fight. I let them go, and then I try and stick with them and learn from them. So maybe that's the thinking that Adam had when he let me go. So now that we're in clear air, we're 2.3 seconds behind the next Adam, funny enough. But we're going to use this clean air and this opportunity to put in some fastest laps here. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and set some fastest laps. As you take a look at the relative there, our fastest lap was a 1:26.6, which funny enough was our last lap. So no time like the present to get in those fastest laps and try and build a gap to the cars behind. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're pushing as much as we can as we do get an off track, and we gain on the relative here as we pick our way through this new Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval 2025 layout. So we're going to go ahead and jump a lap, just one lap. We were able to catch Adam here using the LMP3 traffic, as the overall leader does come through to lap us again. But we're able to gain over a second just on these last two corners here, and we're going to try and put pressure on the car ahead. So I think this is really important, as we are definitely faster than Adam ahead. We gained almost a second in pure pace by one lap, but we are able to use the traffic to our advantage, which is exactly what we were planning on doing for our strategy this race. So now that we're close ahead, we can try and put a move in the same place that we did the last Adam, as the rest of the LMP3 field is going to lap us here. I'm going to look for an opportunity up the inside on this fast right-hand corner. I do think better of it, as we do have another LMP3 car ahead. The BMW goes to the left, kind of being a little bit defensive, so I have to look in the inside here as I'm on a single monitor. So I do go a little bit wide with Adam, leaving the door open for the other LMP3, which is, I think, a good, it was meant to be. So I wasn't able to get in their way, and we both got out of the way pretty easily. This LMP3 here is going to go ahead and slot in. He does try and go up the inside of the BMW, but thinks better of it, thankfully, and does not cause an incident. But we did lose a little bit of time, maybe 2 or 3 tenths on that hairpin, where we had to kind of evasive action with the BMW going defensive. So which is totally fine, but now we're going to try and put as much pressure as we can on Adam, as we are definitely more comfortable in this Ford Mustang now that we're on lap 13, and we're going to try and put a move on it. BMW does go a little bit wide, which gives us a little bit of an advantage, but unfortunately there's nothing we can do in these couple first sector. We are basically single file. There's really nothing that I can do, so I have to wait for my next opportunity to show, which will hopefully come in the next couple of turns. I'm kind of thinking the hairpin might be a good opportunity, but being on the single monitor, it's tough to kind of see that apex. So I think I might just be patient, just stick behind, and we're going to look to get a pass in on the back straight to the chicane that the Roval has. So up ahead you do see the Porsche. The Porsche actually had an incident. I think he self-spun at the hairpin, so we were able to gain a position on Adam, as it looks like the BMWs for some reason just let us by and really didn't put much of a fight, which is unfortunate. I was looking forward to it, but now that the Porsche had self-spun Zach, we actually have another target that kind of just lined itself up for us. So now we passed the BMW, we passed both Adams and the BMWs. So now our goal ahead is to get that position on Zach. So that's what we're going to try and go ahead and do. We have another LMP3 classes. The Porsche kind of just pulls off to the side. The Porsche may have damage on its self-spun, I'm not quite sure, but it kind of just started over to the right, and we kind of gained the position. There's really nothing to it. I'll take it. Kind of helps me out in any way possible. Anything was a plus that going into this from the start of the race, so I will definitely take that free position. Jumping ahead to lap 19, at the end of lap 19 onto lap 20, nothing exciting really happened. We got lapped a couple more times by the LMP3 field. They went through one more time, but also I've been really gapping the cars behind and catching the cars ahead, which is really good. The gap on lap 14 to Gregory ahead was 6.7 seconds. As we have an incident up ahead, the Mustang gets lapped by the LMP3, unfortunately, and hits the grass and blows his engine on the concrete wall. So we gain another position, but we were catching Gregory before his crash. We gained over 3 seconds in 5 laps, which was really good for my confidence in this car and the new tire model. So really nothing happened for the rest of the race. We gained, we started, what, 21st, and now we're up to 13th, which is a pretty solid position gain throughout this race. We're really consistent. The car felt great. The tires felt great. I didn't have any slip, even though we had damage on the opening lap. There really wasn't any negatives to this race, I felt. The only negative was starting after the crash, but we were able to gain 8 positions, I think, right? Yeah, 21. Yeah, 8 positions. You know, math's not my strong suit anymore, but we're going on to the final lap, and that was really all she wrote. So I think this race was a really good opening race for the GT4 class. I did race this class a lot last season. I did race the LMP3s more than the GT4s because of the tire model. I felt the tire models last year for the GT4s were pretty stagnant, and yes, the racing was fun and close, but I feel like it was missing something, and I feel like this was the something that it's missing. This new car is really fast sometimes, and definitely in the right hands can be quick. I don't know in my hands quick is the right word, but I did feel like I was having a lot of fun. The tire model made the car more lively, and it kind of made the racing a lot closer and a lot interesting. So yeah, I think overall the GT4 edition for the Mustang, the tire model, even the track layout, the new track layout for the Rover, or the Roval, it was really enjoyable to drive. I didn't really like the Roval layout, a previous of old, but I think this is definitely a good step forward for the season. And if you want to see more in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment. Any feedback is always welcomed. And I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.